Sometimes life throws you into the thick of it, like that humid afternoon out on the dusty training grounds of Camp Eagle Ridge down in rural Georgia. The kind of place where the pine trees whisper secrets and the red clay sticks to your boots like it's got a grudge. I was Sarah Klein back then, 24, fresh out of a dead-end waitressing gig in Atlanta, enlisting because, hell, I needed to prove to myself I wasn't just some girl scraping by on tips and regrets. That dragon tattoo snaking across my back? It wasn't rebellion, not it was my anchor, inked the night after my brother Danny shipped out to Afghanistan and never came back. He used to call it my fire-breathing guardian, said it'd keep the wolves at bay. Little did I know, the real wolves were waiting in camo, staring me down like I'd just crashed their boys' club. It started simple enough, or so I thought. Our platoon lined up for the uniform inspection, sweat already beading under the relentless sun, and there I was in my PT shorts and that cropped tank, the one that let the ink peek out just a little, because who has time for full coverage when you're gasping through push-ups? Sergeant Harlan God, that man was a walking storm cloud, buzz-cut head gleaming like polished chrome, veins bulging on his forearms from years of barking orders and bench-pressing grudges strode right up to me, his boots kicking up dust clouds that choked the air. The other recruits, mostly guys from small towns like mine, shifted uneasy, their eyes darting like they knew what was coming. "Klein," he snarled, voice gravelly from too many smokes and not enough mercy, grabbing the hem of my shirt and yanking it up without a second's hesitation, exposing that coiled serpent to the whole damn formation. Gasps rippled through the ranks, and I felt my cheeks burn hotter than the Georgia heat, not from shame, but from the raw unfairness of it, like I'd been stripped bare in front of strangers for daring to carry my scars on my skin. "What the hell is this, recruit? You think this is a freak show? Army regs are clerno-visible ink during duty, and you waltz in here like some biker chick auditioning for ink night at the local dive. Drop and give me 50, then report to my office. You're done embarrassing this unit." My heart hammered like a war drum, fists clenching at my sides as I hit the dirt, the gravel biting into my palms with every push. 1, 2, 3, but inside, it was raging, that old fire Danny always said I had, flickering back to life after months of tamping it down just to survive. Why me? Why now? The guys had their own tats crosses, skulls, even that one idiot with a cartoon eagle on his bicep, but no one yanked their shirts up. No one made a spectacle. It wasn't just the ink. It was me, the girl in the ranks, the one who dared join after the brass opened the floodgates for more women, threatening the old guard's grip on their testosterone-fueled kingdom. Harlan? He was the gatekeeper, a lifer who'd lost his squad in Iraq and channeled it all into this iron-fisted control, hating anything that smelled like change, especially if it came wrapped in a ponytail and a past he couldn't bully into submission. By the time I finished those 50s, my arms screaming, the platoon had scattered for chow, but I lingered, wiping sweat from my eyes, staring at the barracks where shadows stretched long like accusations. That night, tossing on my bunk, the dragon seemed to pulse against my skin, whispering Danny's words. "Fight smart, Sarah, don't just swing wild." The next morning hit like a gut punch. Drills ramped up, Harlan riding me harder than a rodeo bull, his critiques laced with that southern drawl turned venom. "Klein, you move like you're scared of your own shadow, that tattoo teaching you to slither away?" The guys started whispering, some smirking behind their hands, others shooting me pity glances that stung worse than the barbs. It built slow, that pressure cooker in my chest, until afternoon maneuvers, when we paired off for hand-to-hand me against this wiry kid from Alabama, Tommy, who Harlan had handpicked, his eyes gleaming with that predatory glint. Tommy lunged clumsy but eager, and I sidestepped, countering with a sweep that dropped him flat. But Harlan blew his whistle like a banshee, storming over. "What was that, Klein? You call that form? Or are you just flashing your artwork to distract?" The words hung there, thick and mocking, and something snapped, not wild, but calculated, like Danny's voice cutting through the haze. I straightened, chest heaving, meeting his glare square, those steel-blue eyes narrowing as the platoon froze around us, the Georgia breeze rustling the pines like it held its breath. "Sergeant," I said, voice steady but edged with that quiet thunder you save for family betrayals. "With all due respect, this ink? It's not a distraction, it's a reminder. My brother wore one just like it, inked it before he deployed, said it'd watch his back when the world turned ugly. He didn't make it home from Kandahar, but I did, and I enlisted to honor that, not to play dress-up in your sandbox. Harlan's face twisted, a flicker of something raw cracking his mask. Regret? Recognition? Before he barked back, leaning in close enough I could smell the stale coffee on his breath. Honor? Kid, honor's earned in blood, not bedtime stories. You think a pretty picture makes you one of us? Prove it right now. You and me, gloves off, in the pit. Show these sorry sacks what that dragon's got. The recruits murmured, a mix of shock and thrill rippling out, Tommy scrambling to his feet with wide eyes. But I nodded, peeling off my gloves slow, deliberate, the sun glinting off the scales peeking from my sleeve like a challenge accepted. We circled that makeshift ring ropes frayed from too many grudges, his stance low and predatory, mine loose, remembering Danny's backyard spars, the way he'd laugh when I dodged his hooks. He came at me first, a haymaker whistling past my ear, and I countered low, feinting left before driving an elbow into his gut, not to hurt, but to jolt, to make him feel the fight in me. He grunted, swinging wilder, fury masking the crack in his armor, and I ducked, whispering as I rose. This isn't about you hating change, Sarge, it's about you hating that we all carry ghosts. The platoon erupted as I hooked his leg, sending him sprawling into the dust, not a knockout, but enough, his chest heaving as he stared up, that chrome dome dusted red, the fight draining from his eyes like air from a punctured tire. He pushed up slow, hand out not for a shake, but a pause, the kind that hangs heavy in the silence. Klein. Danny, you said? 3rd Infantry. I nodded, throat tight, and he exhaled, rubbing his jaw like it ached from more than the hit. Lost a brother in arms there too. Name was Reyes, inked a phoenix on his chest, thought it'd rise him up. Didn't. The words landed soft, bridging that chasm we'd clawed open, and for a beat, the grounds felt smaller, the pines leaning in like old friends. He let me keep the ink covered just enough after that, not erased, but acknowledged, and the platoon shifted, Tommy clapping my shoulder with a grin that said he'd buy me a beer later, the whispers turning to nods. But here's the thing that still gnaws at me. Even now, years out with that DD 214 in a drawer, was it justice? Or just a momentary truce? Harlan eased up, sure, but the regs didn't budge, and I wonder if guys like him hardened by loss, clinging to control, ever really let go, or if us, new blood, have to keep proving we're not the enemy every damn dawn. Did I win that round, or just survive it? Hell if I know, but it changed me, taught me that dragons don't just guard your back. Sometimes they burn the walls down to let the light in. All right, folks, that's my 2 cents on a scrap that scarred deeper than any ink. What about you? Ever faced down a gatekeeper who couldn't see past their own ghosts, or fought for a piece of your story in a world that wants it sanitized? Drop your takes in the comments below. Was I right to push back, or should I have just swallowed it for the greater good? Hit that like if this hit home, share if you've got a tale that needs telling, and subscribe for more raw slices of life that don't pull punches. Let's talk community clashes, 'cause Lord knows we've all got 'em.